And hello, one and all, and welcome to this live review for Monday Night Raw. This is going to be our review for the January 11th edition of Monday Night Raw. And with me tonight, or this morning, I have a special guest. This is my friend Samuel Mays Fisher. Sam, would you like to say hello?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, Sam, thank you for joining me
Thanks
for
for
this
having me.
special live review of Monday Night Raw. And before we get into the every aspect of every part of the show, Sam, what were your overall thoughts on tonight's episode of Raw?
I have to give it a C if I were to rate it, simply because there were highs, there were lows, and there's a lot of disappointments always in the WWE product. But I don't think they were as bad. There was a lot of everything,
Okay.
Not just a bunch of lows. I think it had its moments.
It had its okay. See, I think I had my expectations a little bit too high for this show. Coming in, they're announcing Brock Lesnar is going to be back, so already I'm pumped up for that. Heard Chris Jericho is going to be on it. I don't know. Going into Royal Rumble, they were up against the National College. What was it? The championship game tonight.
Yeah.
So you knew there was going to be competition. You hope that would light a fire under their ass to give us a full 3 hours of good television.
Oh, absolutely. But 3 hours is hard. We all know that.
It's tough for them. It's so tough for them to do. I mean, I keep saying it. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. If they would go back to 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
This show would be so much better, but we're stuck with 3. And what you got tonight was, I felt the first 2 hours, it dragged.
Well, to be fair, what's hard too is like I didn't know Brock Lesnar was going to be there. I didn't know Y2J was going to be there. See, I didn't read that. I don't know if it just passed me this morning, but internet spoils a lot too. But see, I didn't know that. So when Brock came, it was, for me, I was like, whoa, he's really here. I didn't think he was going to be here. With Y2J, that was just an awesome extra, I think.
Although we'll get into that because I had issues with that segment, but yeah. Do you want to get started with getting into the show segment by segment?
Yeah, let's do this. I mean, started off with Vince McMahon and Stephanie.
We kick things off with Vince and Stephanie in all their glory. They have the entire main roster on the stage, and Vince and Stephanie make their way to the ring. And they pretty much say tonight they're all happy. They're freaking. They're McMahons. What can you say?
Yeah.
And they're like saying these are all the people that are going to be in the Royal Rumble match, and who they see it as an opportunity for Roman Reigns to lose his championship. They're against Roman, and I don't know. It was an okay way to start the show. Reigns comes down.
It wasn't bad. They definitely started it off worse before. And Vince always, I told you this before, it's an easy way to get like a lot of viewers just into it, interested, wanting to know. I always like Vince, so I was pulled into it.
Hey, tell me this, because I said it on Twitter tonight. Did you feel this crowd was dead? I thought the crowd sucked.
Yeah, up until Brock Lesnar, but that was the end. They were very.
It was like they didn't cheer for, like, why would you go? We experience this because in Pittsburgh we get crowds like that. I don't get why you would go to a live event and just sit on your hands. I mean, I think it's stupid.
True.
Go and have fun. At least get some chance started. I felt like the only thing they cared about tonight was, I thought they popped when Becky attacked Charlotte, when Kalisto won the title.
Yeah, that was
a good match.
That was definitely a highlight. And even in the interview, I was thinking to myself, man, they're only doing this interview to hype it up, to make you think he's going to win. They're never going to give him the belt. I really didn't think.
And we'll let's save that for later. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But McMahon, Stephanie and Vince are in the ring, and then Roman makes his way down. And then Vince tells Roman that tonight he's going to compete in a match with at least a third of the superstars on the ramp. McMahon called it a 1 versus all challenge. I was actually intrigued by this.
I was very interested. I thought it was going to be fun.
We'll get to that later. But
exactly.
Then McMahon says the match would not include Dean Ambrose. And then Sheamus came from behind and hit Dean Ambrose, and that led us into our opening contest of the evening, Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose. Sam, what did you think of this match?
I thought it was all right. I like the way that they started it, because it was, once again, with Vince McMahon there, he can impromptu something like that. He's the man, so he can just spring a match out like that. So
yeah, he has the power.
Exactly. So it was awesome how they did that. So right there off the bat, we're into a good match, and it was honestly one of the better matches. I love Dean. He's one of my personal favorites.
I love Dean. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, I might just be a sucker in that way, but
like I don't remember much from. I'm sorry. Like I was on my phone a lot during this match. I mean, I wish I tried to pay attention, but I wasn't. Because we've seen this match. That's a problem with this show.
I like Sheamus. He's just ugly.
He's boring. And I mean, the thing I remember from this match is when Ambrose threw Sheamus's head off the post. He got busted open. He was bleeding like a stuffed pig. Excuse me. It was a nice visual.
Yeah.
The match ended with a no contest. It was a double countout. Then afterwards, Kevin Owens came out and further attacked Dean Ambrose. So I like that. I really like this feud between Kevin Owens and
I think if they would have shortened the match a little bit.
Ambrose, well, if you shorten the show, then the match, everything else would be much better. But I know what you're saying there. But yeah, the match I felt was forgettable. I liked the post-match stuff with Sheamus getting busted open. I mean, you could hear when he hit right off that post, and that was definitely what do they call it, a hard sell or whatever. Like
well, they need more of that, in my opinion.
Well, they're not going to.
Not at all.
It's a PG show, and they have sponsors and all this other crap.
Yeah.
So, but your thoughts on the Kevin Owens Dean Ambrose feud?
I like it. Once again, I didn't think they were going to give it to Dean. So to see this whole thing play off in the second time around, as him trying to get the belt back, I like it. I like Kevin Owens. I mean,
come on. He has freaking talent, oozing out of his freaking skin.
The things he does he's a big man.
But here's the problem.
Works that ring well.
And Delexman mentioned this. They book him two ways. You can't have him be, either he's Owens fight like he was on NXT. He would be a badass heel that would get in anybody's face, and he'd do it, because of his family. Or they're going to have him be run Owens run, this cowardly chicken shit. We don't need that. We need fight Owens fight.
I loved when he first came out. He was this hard to. I'm saying into the main roster, he came in the way he should have came in, and they just they didn't stick to their guns.
They got scared. They went back to the well. And when you go back to the well, you hurt a talent like Kevin Owens, and he fell off a peg. Imagine if he.
I don't think they hurt him. I just think they're not letting him go from his stable. He needs to be let go the way that he had momentum at first. He really did. I thought he was going.
Yeah, and if you book him the way that he was booked on NXT, I'm telling you, he could be the top heel in the company. Just don't have him run away.
Oh, he's a great heel.
But I like this because Owens just was determined, and I hope this leads to what I would like to see at the Royal Rumble. Hear me out. Is Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose for the IC strap in a street fight. I just feel like that would be the perfect type of stuff.
Of course, they're crazy. I think
yes,
with Dean Ambrose dishes, and I think that he could just give it right back, and I totally enjoy that. Totally.
Okay. So, anything else you'd like to say about the Sheamus and Ambrose match tonight?
That sums it up.
So then, backstage, Renee Young, Ambrose, she's getting an update on his condition. Ambrose comes out, and I really like this promo. He says that no matter how many times Owens is going to get him down, he's not going to stop. And I just like the fire and intensity in Ambrose. I mean, Dean Ambrose, we could go on and on about him. He is such an awesome talent. I feel like he's had an okay 2015, but I really hope they get behind him. I like him as IC champion. Would like to see him.
I love it.
Right. And I just hope they have plans for him, and he needs to win that world title. If the crowd's behind him, why not? I hope he's world champ this year. But good promo by Ambrose. And, oh boy, you're going to love this one. Next, we had the exact same match from last week at the exact same time frame. It was Titus O'Neil versus Stardust. Did you care?
I hate it.
Now, here's the thing. Do you like are these guys talented?
I like Titus O'Neil. I like the primetime players. I did.
What happened to them?
Exactly. But Stardust, man,
did you hear? I did hear the crowd chant, "We want Cody."
Yeah.
Can we?
Right before this, I was actually on Yahoo, and I just read an article, and it linked me back to WWE's website. So it's somewhere on there, and it pretty much said that they confirmed they have no plans of bringing Cody Rhodes.
That's a shame because
they're behind this Stardust character for one reason or the other, and I like that it's homage to his father. And
it's tough because that's his wish, but It's not. He's not going anywhere, and they're just going to have this crappy feud between him and Titus that, I'm sorry, nobody cares about. There's no story. Why are we fighting? You know, what do we do? We're doing the same match at the same time.
It's really weird.
It's boring.
Don't get me wrong, I like weird, but that's weird.
I know. So this match, what happened? Stardust misses a top rope maneuver, and he walked right into the clash of Titus. Titus O'Neil picked up the win. Afterwards, Stardust attacked Titus, but I don't care. You probably don't care, so we're going to move on to the next.
Well, what I liked was actually before that match, the Paul Heyman and Vince segment.
Yes,
with Stephanie, how they mentioned that they want Brock Lesnar to be in there, and he wasn't going to.
Yeah, that. See, here's the thing. It was kind of confusing. So instead of giving Brock, putting him in the Rumble, like I was confused by Heyman's logic. Wouldn't that make more sense putting Brock in the Rumble because he has a better opportunity of winning?
Yeah, he just wanted the match afterwards.
But if he was in the Rumble, he'd instantly get the title. I don't know. People on Twitter were saying that, and it was kind of getting me thinking, but whatever. It was great seeing Heyman back on TV, and I loved his interactions.
Well, like I said, I didn't know Brock was going to be there, so when that segment happened, actually, before that match, I was like, whoa, what is this? And then he said, he's not here. He's like, but I'll, whatever. That's when they went to the office.
And then they had their little chat, so.
Yeah, but I was... it was cool. I liked it. It played with my mind. It made me want to keep watching. Those are things we want to see.
And we kept watching. We're going to the top of the 9 o'clock hour, and we have the highlight reel featuring the New Day. Now, I'm a big fan of the New Day.
I love them.
And I love Chris Jericho. And I thought for sure, this segment, this is going to be a great segment that we're going to remember. However, I felt like something was missing from this segment. I don't know what it was. I just felt like the New Day weren't on tonight. Jericho, I don't know. It's just this Rudy, Tooty, Fruity. I feel like it's I feel like it's the tater tot crap all over again. It's like, remember classic Jericho when he would say dirty, filthy, stinking, trash bag hoe, and a little bit. He was an edgy character. I feel like he's been.
I just can't help but think some of the things he's saying, he's literally stealing from The Rock. I don't know.
But this segment, I felt like it went nowhere. And then the Usos came out, and then this would eventually set up a tag match between the New Day.
Yeah, and then
the Usos, which we've seen how many times now?
Yeah, Xavier Woods was in the corner.
I mean, but the problem is we've seen this match how many times now? 9, 10? And then if they do a match at the Royal Rumble, are you going to care? Answer that. Are you going to care?
You're beating a dead horse. Exactly.
See, that's the problem with these 3-hour shows, a 2-hour SmackDown. You're seeing the same matches over and over again. The thing about NXT is you don't see the same matches over and over and over again. When you get to that TakeOver special, like Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, I never saw that match on NXT from the time Joe debuted to that special, and it felt special. That's the thing I like about NXT. You don't see the same matches every stinking week. So I've seen this match. It was a match. I mean, I don't know what you thought about it, but
it wasn't nothing. I like the transition from the highlight reel to the match. Once again, another impromptu thing they just did.
Yeah,
but the match itself, it was same thing we've seen.
I mean, Jericho cuts off Xavier Woods. I believe he break the trombone.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I enjoyed that.
And then Kingston was distracted, and then Jimmy was able to roll him up for the win. So the Usos beat the New Day. That match was what it was. So we're rolling into this second hour. Like I said, these first 2 hours of Raw, it wasn't really much special. It was really, really lackluster. We're going into the next. Oh, here we go. Can't forget mentioning this. Sting, the icon, the man, the franchise, the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes.
What an honor. He definitely deserves it. He had a storied career in WCW. He was one of the top players in that organization. He had a nice run in TNA. Of course, they're not going to mention that, but, he had a good run there. And then eventually he came into WWE, Survivor Series, that epic moment, and then he should have won that match at WrestleMania against Triple H, but He didn't.
It worked out better that way, though. I think
we'll disagree on that one, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know.
We'll just keep going. And then Seth Rollins, and having I thought he had a pretty good match with Rollins. So your thoughts on Sting being the first inductee into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I think it's a great choice. I thought it was a brilliant choice when he came back to WWE.
Or debuted, you mean?
Exactly, debuted, because he never really was.
He never. He was the last one of the WCW original.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And so just to hear that name, see him for WrestleMania was his first match, debut match. It was.
You can tell he had goosebumps, and he waited his whole career to say that he competed at WrestleMania.
But it was awesome. Like, we watched history when we watched that, and it was very exciting, man.
I know. I just feel like he should have won, though. Like, that was Vince being petty. I mean, I could go a whole tangent about it.
I mean, the only reason I said what I said, I wanted him to win, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't need that win over Sting at all. But a lot of the things that I read is just, blogs that I read or things online, is the people were actually happier that he handed it over, because a lot of people felt like they would have just been mad if he just walked into this company and just won like that. I don't know. People were saying that they just needed to lose the first match, and I can see why they say that. Respect the company that's bringing you in now, and I don't know. I would have liked to see him win. I definitely would have personally.
He earned it.
Oh,
and hopefully we can see him wrestle one more match. And you know what match I would like to see him wrestle? If he can go at WrestleMania 32, it's got to be him versus Undertaker.
Oh yeah,
that would be his
last year.
Yeah, and that could be a perfect retirement match for, I think, both. Yeah, but I think Sting would be the one. I could see Taker still going. He's gonna go
till he drops, man. They're gonna have to physically not allow him to come back. I feel like that's just his mentality.
But I think Sting is. I mean, he's 57, so I could see if he's healthy. I think he'll do one more match, and that would be the one more match I'd want to see him have.
Hey man, he was looking good in the ring. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a shame that match against Rollins. I was impressed with how Sting got into shape.
You know my opinion on Rollins. He's hurt a couple people, especially in such a small time frame. He hurt.
We'll leave it at that, because we got a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. We're moving on to our next segment or match. Wasn't really much of a match. It was the Wyatt family taking on the Social Outcast. Your thoughts on this? Because it ended in a no contest when Ryback came out, and then the Outcast cleared the Wyatts of the ring. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I have a couple opinions on this. Honestly, I don't know what the hell Ryback was doing there. First off, that was you talk about throwing something random into the mix. That's weird. I don't know why he came.
The Social Outcast?
Yeah. Why was Ryback there? Why did he
Well, the Wyatts attacked him the week before, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but they already even to the Wyatts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Yeah.
It just made the Wyatts look weak to me, and I feel like they could be a legit contender to win the world. Bray Wyatt, I mean, he is so talented, and I feel like they've been mistreating him in a way for so long in his feuds against Cena and the Undertaker and the Brothers of Destruction. Can't he get a big win? For the love of God.
His next big match, he better get it, because he's definitely taking some big L's.
He's talented. I don't get they created him. It's not like he's some talent that was made somewhere else. No, they made him. So go with him. Because as Shawn Michaels said in the Stone Cold podcast, Bray Wyatt could be the next Undertaker-like character, and I believe so.
Oh, absolutely. But one of the other things I want to say about, not necessarily this match, but the Social Outcast, and I know you talk about this a lot, you'll be happy to know that I finally kind of have faith in Bo Dallas. That's just me being a hater. Bo Dallas and
Adam Rose
or Axel weren't exactly my favorites, but I kind of like that they put these 4 people together. I mean, I don't know what they're about yet. If they book them right and they have them do the right thing, I think it could work.
Remember New Day? Nobody thought that would work, and it took off. So I'm thinking
I was the only one that liked them at first. Everyone I told them I liked it. They were like,
I hated New Day.
and now I love them.
Now we love them. So
but I think Social Outcast could definitely work. Bo Dallas, it's the first time I've ever looked at him like,
it could work, but however, tonight didn't work. So I don't know what this was. It did nothing for anyone in the ring.
Yeah, so, exactly. I think it was just a filler.
So we're going to move on to the good stuff, because this last hour I felt like the show really picked up. And as you were saying earlier in this review, Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio for the United States Championship. Wow, this was the best match of the night. These guys put on a really good show. And Kalisto picking up the surprise upset over Alberto Del Rio. Didn't see that happening
at all.
What did you think about this? Because I really enjoyed this.
Definitely, if not one of the highest points of the show. Because, like I said earlier, they did a promo literally because they did the promo, then they went to commercial, and then when we came back to the match. And the promo was basically just Kalisto, and I thought that it was one of those things to try and make the kids or the
fans,
whoever would believe that he might win. I knew he wasn't going to win. That's just what I was thinking going into this match. And man,
when he brought up Eddie, when he
hit that 1, 2, 3 though, I was pretty damn surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Del Rio was beating the shit out of him for most of this match. However, Kalisto was able to get some offense in, and then eventually, he was just like, wow, I could not believe that Kalisto was able to reverse the German suplex into a roll-up for the win, and then the place just went nuts, and then he's your new U.S. champion. I thought they weren't going to have this till the Royal Rumble, but it definitely helped tonight's show.
Absolutely.
And hopefully he could – I felt like Del Rio as U.S. champ. It's a shame because Cena brought so much prestige back to that title with the U.S. Open challenges on a weekly basis, and then they gave it to Del Rio. They did the Mex-American crap, went nowhere, and now that title, I feel like, has lost its prestige that Cena helped bring back. What do you think?
I 100% agree with that. And, you get these people who just kind of hold on to it.
And Del Rio, I haven't watched Lucha Underground, but I heard he was doing good stuff there. So I don't necessarily blame him for the way that he was as champion.
I never watched it, but I read reviews on Lucha always. Like just when I read about WWE, and I only read good things about Alberto.
And he was there, and he had more of a personality, and he was taken more seriously. So I haven't watched, but I heard that he was booked in a better way. So I'm blaming the booking of Del Rio rather than the person. But I'm interested to see how Kalisto does as your new United States champion. So we enjoyed this match, and we're gonna go on to the next. It was supposed to be a match, but it was Charlotte versus Brie Bella was scheduled. And as Charlotte was making her way to the ring, she's just about to get into the ring. And then out of nowhere, Becky Lynch comes out and starts just beating the shit out of Charlotte. I like this. It was just like, man, didn't see it coming. And then Flair is like, oh, she's like, got to get Charlotte out of here. She's not competing tonight. And then, classic Ric Flair is like, give me my sport jacket. And he's like, shut up, fat person, or whatever. And it was just like, this whole segment worked, I thought.
Oh, that was really funny when he said that. Was he talking to someone in the crowd?
I think it was somebody in the crowd. Yeah. But what did you think of the attack by Becky Lynch on Charlotte? I felt like it furthered this feud, advanced the feud.
Oh, absolutely. And then you had the segment right afterwards where she's just going off on...
Yes, Becky cut a really good promo.
Yeah, right afterwards. And, I think they both deliver such intensity that, like, you feel the emotion in this.
And she said, I have her right here, she said she made Charlotte tap out last week on SmackDown, and she's going to do it again. And they have to have a match. They're going to have a match at the Royal Rumble. What I would like to see is you either make it a no DQ match, and you ban Ric Flair from ringside. I think that would make logical sense.
She even said it. She goes, that's one thing that she promised she would never do is use her daddy to win matches or gain the upper hand.
Look at this. The women matter. Look, they're doing it.
Absolutely one of the best matches of this whole everything we talked about.
See? I mean, I hope they're finally understanding it, because I felt like this Divas Revolution, like they were saying it's a revolution, but I felt like there really wasn't a revolution. But now I feel like with this Charlotte and Becky feud, you have Charlotte as a heel, Becky as a face, you have a story. It's not the most complicated.
That's the most important part about everything.
Because
people are liking it.
Yes, and I feel like you could keep this program going. What I would like to see is Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, triple threat for the Divas Championship at WrestleMania 32. That's my new match I would like to see at that show, and they could have a tremendous match. And maybe you could give either Sasha or Becky, have Charlotte hold the title till Mania as the dominant heel champion, and then have her drop it to either Becky or Sasha. That's what I would do, because I feel like Becky's getting some momentum behind her.
Oh, for sure.
She was one of my favorites in NXT, and I felt like she was kind of getting the shaft on the main roster.
Absolutely, she never talked, she never spoke, never cut.
They never gave her that chance. All they have to do is give her a chance.
They put them in a group and picked the one face, and everyone else kind of.
Yeah, Becky kind of got pushed to the side, and I didn't like that because she was awesome on NXT, and she's showing right now why she was awesome. Good personality, good wrestler. It's just really, really intense, and I like that about her.
Hopefully they, give us that match on a very important day, a pay-per-view, and she'll be able to showcase that. And, once you put on a good match, they can't deny her that.
At WrestleMania, we have not had a one-on-one or like a triple threat match for the title since, I believe, WrestleMania 22, which was Mickie James versus Trish Stratus. I hope I got that right. It's been a long – we usually get battle royales and all this crap. We need a feud and a story for the women this year. That should be their goal. I'm tired of battle royale.
I like what they got going on because once again, they both have just such emotion behind their stories, and I believe it when I'm watching this, and I want to see where this goes.
Yes, so we're gonna that's our thoughts on that, and then we're gonna move on to the main event match. It was the 1 versus all match. It was Roman Reigns versus the Wyatt family, Kevin Owens, The New Day, The Ascension, Stardust, Alberto Del Rio, and Sheamus. Let's talk about the match before we get into what happened at the end. What did you think about the match? Because I'll admit I fell asleep during this match, so I don't know if you had any insight.
Okay, well, first off, whenever I said earlier, the show wasn't bad. That's what I'm saying. I have mixed feelings about it because there were highs. Like the Kalisto, and then there were lows. Yeah. When I say low, this was my low because in the beginning of the show, you have everybody in the locker room out there.
They're on the ramp.
All of them. And it's Roman Reigns versus all. That's what it was. So then you come down 3 hours later that I sit and watch for this.
3 hours.
And there's only 8 to 9 people on this side. What happened to the other? Like, where's our truth?
Yeah, I know. I thought
give truth a chance.
I don't know.
It was only, and then because Vince McMahon stands up and he goes, I guess this is a McMahon version of a 1 versus all. And he literally
it was a gauntlet match. That's what it really was. It was a gauntlet match.
Yeah, and he said, so Kevin Owens go into the ring, go. So it was really the whole match was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. And then when Kevin Owens didn't hold up, literally it's all it was. He didn't tag anybody in. And, after quite a few kickouts, Roman Reigns turns around to Vince McMahon and says, "Is that all you got?" And he looks at him like, "Did you just say that to me?" And he says, "No, that's not all we got." And then he tells everybody to go into the ring.
Okay, that's when I finally woke up from my
sleep. And then everyone's just attacking him, and it was just it was a disappointment because it could have been good.
And then the music hits. The Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, returns to Monday Night Raw, and Brock's coming out, and then he just starts beating the shit out of everyone. It was awesome. Love seeing Brock on Raw. And then, the match ends in no contest, I guess we're assuming. So then Lesnar, he's just beating the shit out of everyone. It's awesome to see. And then it comes down to him, and Reigns is laid out, and Brock picks him up, hits him with the F5, and they officially announce him to be a part of the Royal Rumble match. Your thoughts on Brock laying out everyone?
Everything about this was perfect at this point because at this point you had New Day. And I forget if it was 2 or 3 of them that were beating up Roman Reigns. And then the music hits. He comes out. Xavier Woods goes up to him like, "We got you, bro. We got you." Like, pats him on the chest, and he like, "Go get him." Xavier Woods is the first one he hits that the suplex on.
I think he took out Sheamus too. He
gave everybody. But it was funny because Xavier Woods, like, even I thought, he's going to be on their side and just go after Reigns, but he didn't. He took out everybody.
Brock beats the living shit out of who he's going to take
everybody. He has no friends.
he's the beast. You know, he doesn't need any friends.
Exactly.
Paul Heyman.
So, you know, once he takes out everybody, he looks at Vince and pulls Roman Reigns out in the middle, and I was like, he's gonna do it.
Good, lay him out. Good.
But if you look, he had a cut on his cheek. Like at some point, he actually cut himself. You know, so you know, it looked genuine, but it was it was thrilling because once again, I didn't read it on the internet like what a lot of people did. I'm sure a lot of people didn't, but it was one of the days that I missed that news article. And when I heard it and I heard his music, see, that's probably why you're rating and I'm at mine.
Well, and we'll get into the rating.
Yeah, I'm just saying that for me was a really pleasant surprise.
It was a good way to end.
That's what I want to see.
Good way to end a subpar episode of Raw.
Brock Lesnar is always a promising way to end.
So he's going to be in the Rumble, and we're now up to 19. I have the list right here. If you want, do you want me to read it?
I actually don't know them.
Sure, I'll read it to you right now.
This is the confirmed 19, like official. Yeah. Oh, awesome! Yeah, read that.
Big Show, Curtis Axel, Ryback, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, Dolph Ziggler, Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Big E, Xavier Woods, Heath Slater, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, Alberto Del Rio, and Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
Now, I just saw on Twitter, or was it Instagram, Daniel Bryan posted a training video.
I would love to see that. I would go ecstatic.
Something tells me, he said, clear me on Twitter. I think he's coming back in the Royal Rumble. I think you can definitely count on and Triple H, you know, and
don't be disappointed if he doesn't.
Well, yeah, I've done that before. I've set myself up for disappointment.
But I would totally love to see that. I've also just read an article that Randy Orton, they didn't say much. They said he didn't need the surgery, which definitely cuts back time that he will heal.
He might make it back for WrestleMania.
Saying he literally was like speaking in like tongue. He was just like, you know, not having the surgery cuts back half the time.
That's good news. What do you think about Cesaro? I don't know. He's rehabbing. Yeah, Cesaro, they said he went down, November with the shoulder. They said 4 months.
He probably won't.
Well, November, December, unless he... I would love to see Cesaro return, but that's just throwing it out there.
Then there's Seth Rollins. You think he's going to return?
No, he's not. You won't see him. No, he's not till SummerSlam. He's the last of the injured bunch to return. So it would probably go.
It's a real injury. You know, you always gotta think that too. But I'm sure he's really.
Nah, his is that they.
Well, like I said, Randy Orton. The last thing he said was he's ahead of schedule. And that's
mid-March to May.
I'm hoping something soon. I mean, they need some because they lost Seth Rollins, Cena, Randy Orton,
Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, he's been out. You know, Nikki Bella hasn't been. There's a lot of big names that they literally are working with right now. So, you know, as far as this show, it wasn't bad. And like I said, they've had bigger names and put on a worse show than they did tonight.
We were saying, where were we? We were at the end. So let's just give us our grade.
Yeah, I pretty much just finished up on the Brock Lesnar hitting Roman Reigns at the very end, and it was just awesome. Like that's how you need to end your Raws, you know, with big money numbers like that.
So I'm going to give the show D+. What would you give this show?
You know, like I said, I didn't know Brock Lesnar was going to be there or Y2J, which I should have expected. You know, I think I liked the first match a little bit more. I was disappointed, but I'd have to give it a C because the highs were pretty high for me. I'm really happy for Kalisto. Really, I'm still blown away by that a little bit because I just never, not on this planet did I think they were going to actually do that. Okay. So I give it a C. I give it a solid C.
He's giving it a solid C. I'm giving it a solid D+. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in to for our review for Monday Night Raw. Please click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming to my channel in the future. Be on the lookout for my thoughts on the Stone Cold podcast with Ric Flair. Got to watch that. And also my review for NXT. It's back, baby. Woo! Can't wait. The A Show returns this Wednesday, so my review will be up that day as well. Sam, thank you for joining me for this review. I appreciate having you on as a guest. You're welcome any other time.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. And with that, we are out. Peace.
Deuces.